In the state of Arkansas, anyone born after 1986 has to have a boater's license. But there's a couple of ways you can go back getting one. The first is just a regular health class-esque video course. It costs $35. But if you want to spend an extra $15, you can get the I Learned to Boat course. Gamers, this is a course for you. It says so right in the first line. So obviously this is the one I bought, and we're going to go through it together. But first, I have to get ready to boat. I bought a variety pack of White Claw, picked out all the good flavors, and I'm ready to learn to boat. Let's get started. Cheers. Okay, we're inside the app with the mystery of Calcomey Isle. I hope we can solve it together. Let's begin. I'm going to speed through a lot of this because I think it's a lot of just like clicking through text. So I'm not going to make you sit through all of that, but I'll cut down to the highlights so you don't have to sit through this entire thing like I do. Kalkomey Isle is mostly an educational game, but there's a plot to it that I think is worth talking about. It's a Scooby-Doo story with 4 friends, and there's been boats going missing in this town that's called Lake Town. And the boat that we're on, called the Lake Song, is the biggest boat that's still left, right? So maybe it's next. There's theories about who's stealing the boats, like maybe it's a gang from the rival town, but we don't know. So that's setting to the plot. And then to set kind of a somber tone and make it serious, it's unrelated to the plot, but there's a story about a captain, crashing his ship, and his wife and 2 daughters die, twin daughters, mind you. Was anyone hurt? 4 people drowned, including the captain's wife and twin daughters. And then I guess just some other guy too. Anyways, that doesn't have anything bearing on the plot at all. It's just to make it sound serious because it's a serious topic, boating safety. So yada yada yada. The 4 friends. We encounter Willard, who's this nice shopkeeper. We go there to buy stuff, and then while we're buying stuff from Willard, Cletus comes in. Dude, it's fucking Cletus. His name is Cletus. This is Cletus. Cletus is up to no good. I can already tell. Who's like this dock laborer guy. We don't really even know what his job is, but he was always giving the kids shit. Be like, I wish it was, I could just, have fun all day. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I got to work. I don't know what his job is, but he spooks the kids with a story about Calcomey Isle, which is up north, where the government research lab was doing genetic testing and fusing and making hybrids of bat, hornet, hawks, right? Very scary stuff. And Mr. Willet's like, don't tell the kids that stuff, but Cletus sounds pretty convincing. Cletus steps closer and lowers his voice. The truth is, there's more than fog and cold to fear up north. Oh my God. Like what? Like Calcomey Isle. That's what. The whole island is overrun with mutant creatures. What? We're filled with mutants? Now we're getting somewhere. So Calcomey Isle. Don't go up north in the fog. I hope that doesn't happen to our characters. Then we encounter a Mac, who's just like a hermit guy on his boat. He's pretty chill. There's a plot point of this race boater guy who gets thrown off of his boat, and we have to save him from the water. His boat's doing a death circle. And so we kind of don't like him. He's like this arrogant guy. But then he lets us on his houseboat and to ride his jet skis. And we're like, dude, this guy actually rocks. But Troy has this idea that maybe he's the one who's been stealing the boats because he's some commodities trader. And maybe that means stolen boats. So I don't know why Troy thinks this guy might do it. I think he's just getting mogged by him. So obviously a storm sets in. Yeah, the storm is here. And it's not just one storm. It's a storm to the east, to the west, to the south. The only way to go is north. So we go north towards Calcomey Isle and into the fog. We crash the boat, run ashore, have to dislodge it, and then we end up on Calcomey Isle. And of course, the gang goes and investigates, and they find clues, 3 clues right at the beginning. They find a rake for I don't know what. Then they find a dock that's been maintained, right? There's people still here, and then they find a sign that says Genetics Research Facility. Oh my God, Cletus was telling the truth. There were genetic experiments going on here, or at least somebody made the sign and put it there. So after seeing all those clues, they decide to go further into the island. And as they get further in, they start hearing this faint buzzing sound. And then out of nowhere, boom, all the hybrid bat, hawk, hornet things come and start chasing the kids.
Those don't sound like birds. They don't fly like birds. Those are the creatures. Oh my God, they're here. Look at them. They look very scary. This one's like extremely intimidating. Oh my God. Yes, run. Oh my gosh, the creatures are coming for us. They have sharp talons. They look like something out of Ben 10.
Which was shocking to me. I didn't think those were going to be real, but they're real, and they're actually chasing them. We have to run off the island. Then we get on the boat and start boating away, but then they like come over the water, so we have to gun it on the boat to get away.
Oh no, they're still coming. They just won't give up. Speed up.
In the middle of it, one of the gang like takes a photo of it, and everybody's inspecting the photo afterwards. And Troy is saying, "I don't know if these are real hybrid creatures. These look inorganic to me. These look like drones."
Troy thinks there's something inorganic going on here. They're mechanical, says Troy. They look just like the boat propeller.
So maybe there's like a robot mastermind thing on the island, like a mad inventor. I don't know, but the plot's definitely thickening. Okay, after that encounter, the gang has decided they haven't had enough. They want more. They want to get to the bottom of it. So they hatched this extremely convoluted plan to go do it, which I'm not going to bore you with the details of it. I feel like it was like most of the dialogue was about this like plan they're hatching, but it boiled down to the boys are going to kayak there and then rendezvous with the girls after they find something. So that's what happens. Go back to the isle. The boys get off, kayak in, and they start hearing monkeys.
Oh my God, there's a monkey in here. The monkeys are throwing shit at us?
There are monkeys on this island now, which I knew they were doing genetic testing, but maybe they're doing, I don't know, like testing on monkeys in addition to the bats, hawks, and hornets. I don't know. The monkeys are bizarre that they're here, especially given the climate. I just thought we were in like Maine or something. I don't know where Lake Town would be, but it doesn't seem like a place where monkeys would thrive. But there's this whole population of monkeys just hanging out. But the boys decide, whatever, the monkeys don't scare us. Let's keep going. We're here on a mission to do what the police can't do. And they keep going. And eventually they find a chop shop. And who's chopping up the boats? It's Mr. Willard. Mr. Willard is the guy, which, he's like the only character that actually this twist would have possibly made sense to be. But in the moment, it got me.
Oh my God, it was Mr. Willard. What is he doing? Shopping boats. I feel so stupid that this is actually surprising to me. God damn it.
I got hit by the twist of it's Mr. Willard was the bad guy. And there's another dude there too, but we don't get a look at him. So it's Mr. Willard. And then they run back, Mr. Willard spots them and they have to run back, but they get back to the kayaks and everything's all over the place. The monkeys have gotten into it and eaten all their food and destroyed their dry bags. But they're like, whatever, we just have to kayak, screw the food. And they go and they start kayaking in. And then this leads to like the single greatest point of this entire game where they have this line of dialogue that says, the monkeys stole the drain plugs.
The monkeys took the drain plugs and we're drowning. These mischievous monkeys, dude. They took the fucking drain plugs.
And the kayak starts sinking. The monkeys came onto their boats, took their food, but also wiggled their little fingers in there, pulled out the drain plugs, and now their kayaks are sinking and they're suffering from hypothermia. The water's cold. And the rendezvous is not working. They were late to it, and now their really convoluted system isn't happening. So the girls have to like call for help. Mac ends up saving them, actually, the nice hermit from earlier. And the boys are taken to a hospital. So we flash forward to the next day, and Mr. Garcia, the cop, is talking to the girls, be like, do you suspect anybody? The boys are okay. They're still in the hospital, but they have amnesia. So apparently they've developed amnesia from being in this cold water due to the monkeys stealing the drain plugs. But no, the girls don't have any theories or anything because, they didn't see Mr. Willard. But Mr. Garcia, he's like, okay, we've got to go get a warrant to go check on this because of what the boys told us. But what did the boys tell you? You just said that they have amnesia. But it gets even more convoluted where if we flash forward another several days and Mia is asking them, be like, has your memory come back? And then in like a twist of fate that I think literally speaks to this plot point being extremely confusing is the response is, So Mia asks, "Do you have your memory back?" And not really says nobody, which is a bug in the code, I guess, a typo. Not really says nobody, but I think it's illustrative because this amnesia thing doesn't make any sense. But the boys or nobody says, no, not really. We don't have our memory back. And then a notification comes to the girl's phone and says that Mr. Willard has been arrested.
Wait. Okay. So did they tell them and they were pretending to have amnesia? What's going on?
Which this should be shocking to them because nobody has any memory, right? Mr. Willard's just this nice guy who sold us life jackets and flares. It's like, why is Mr. Willard getting arrested? But it's of no surprise to any of them, apparently, because they knew it the whole time, but they have amnesia and didn't tell the cops anything. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to try to make any more sense of the amnesia plotline. You know as much as I do now. Then a couple more plot twists happen towards the end where Mac is actually a handsome detective.
Oh my God, Mac had a glow up. He was looking so crazy before. Reintroduce myself. He's the detective. Detective Mac? Another twist.
We don't find out who the second person was or what the thing with the drones was. We just kind of are led to believe that Mr. Willard is also runs the boat store, does the chop shop and also creates robotic drones to scare people away. And there's also a reward that they get, but we never learn how much the reward is. If it's like $1,000 or $100, we don't know. They never tell you what it is, so we don't really care. But they do get some kind of reward, and that's just the end of the plot. It ends on this amnesia note where Mr. Willard gets arrested off screen, and you just get a push notification on your phone because you're subscribed to arrest notifications. I don't know. It really went off the end after we saw the bugs. Once we saw the bugs, that was cool. Everything after that went crazy. And I think when when they jumped the shark was when the monkeys stole the drain plugs. I'm not going to talk about the quiz stuff at all because it's pretty boring. But the most interesting little factoid that pops up in it is about the alcoholic impairment section, where it says that one beer on land is equivalent to 3 beers on the water.
What they're pitching here in the alcohol impairment review guide, which I would argue is probably a pretty important part of this, one drink on land is equal to this on water, which means if you're on the water, you can drink this. And it's just like drinking one on land. So technically, I'm on land right now, but if I was in the water, this would be like, it wouldn't even be scratching the surface. I'm right. This is wrong. They wrote this wrong. This is like misinformation. It makes it sound like you can drink way more on the water. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about it. I've got to drink 2 more of these before I even had one lake beer.
Over the course of this whole course, which was, I think, about 3 hours long, I drank 1.3 water beers, which that's just an error. They didn't even fix that. Also, I think the science for that is actually not even valid. I tried to look it up, and it's just like something people say. They say because the boats rock, that makes you feel more drunk, or like, it lulls you. It's like this boat hypnosis thing. I don't know. Maybe it's true, but regardless if that's true or not, they read it wrong, which is pretty comical. So anyways, now you know all that I do about Calcom Isle, and I hope that, well, this isn't a message of hope, I guess.